Alright, what's up y'all? It's Dappa Dan here. Thanks for tuning in to all the previous episodes of Who's Buzzin'. Today we got a new episode coming up. We got the lovely Zara with us. She's a model, mentor, entrepreneur, so many other things. So with that being said, let's get into it.
Got my beat from Waters Cold, boy.
Alright guys, so like I said before, we got a guest in the building. The lovely Zara is here with us.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. First off, I want to start, usually I start with so much love, but I'm going to start with a little jealousy here.
Ooh.
Because I am jealous of you.
Why?
The reason being, you have a name that can stand on its own.
Yeah.
I do not have a name that stands on its own.
Dan.
Dan is so common. Like, if I got $1 for every time I met another person named Daniel, I'd be going crazy at like KFC. Like, I'd have mad money. With that being said, like, how's that work in your benefit? Like having that one name, like a Zendaya type of thing, or like a, you know, there's other people, whoever else has one name. How does that like help you in your career? Do you think it like boosts you? Because it's a memorable name.
I don't think it like boosts me in a sense. People are just like, oh my god, like the store? And I'm just like, sure.
But it's memorable, right?
Yeah.
And that's my biggest jealousy. Because my name, people be like, you're David, right? I'm like, no, Dan. Because like it's just tough. But what I do want to get into first is, you know, in your bio it says you're a model, mentor. So which one do you feel like you put most of your pride into? Which one do you feel like means the most to you?
I feel like I give the most attention to them both equally. I don't like to just be one specific thing, you know what I'm saying? So I like to just divvy up my time to all my different projects equally because I feel like they're just as important. So one doesn't really outweigh the other, if that makes sense.
Okay, so, but you don't work for anybody, and we'll get into that. But if you did, on your resume, I'm assuming it would say multitasker.
Yes.
Multifaceted.
Multifaceted, for sure.
Multi-hyphenate, multifaceted. All right, so what I'm going to choose to get into first is the modeling aspect.
Okay.
All right, so with the modeling thing, what do you like about it the most, and what do you like about it the least?
That's a good question. I feel like what I like about the most about modeling is the networking, getting to work with different clients, different brands, more exposure to myself as an individual. And the thing that I would say is most challenging is that when you get to set as a black model, you don't really know if the hairstylist or the makeup artist is really going to come through for you on that day. Sure. So that is definitely like the biggest challenge, but you know, we always seem to work through it and the photos end up being amazing. So, but that is definitely the biggest challenge that I've found so far.
Right, so as was doing my snooping, doing my, you know, investigative journalism, as I like to call it, I found that you've done a couple things. You've done, you know, work with Target, you've done work with other things. So with that being said, what's like your favorite shoot you've done so far? Like what was probably the most comfortable or just came out the best? Whichever one you graded.
Yeah, I would definitely say the campaign I did with Puma was definitely my most fun. It was actually not in New York City, it took place in Jersey, so I had to like commute there and everything, like really early morning, and we had like this huge trailer that was like on this campground, and we got to like work outside, and it was like such a hot summer day. This like happened in the middle of July, but it was funny because all the models, there was 2 of us, so we got to stay in like the trailer where there was like food, TV, couch, and we were all chilling, and I felt so bad because everyone else was like outside, working outside, but
stains on their t-shirts.
like literally dying, drenched in sweat. But it was definitely like the most, I guess it was just like really fun just to do that type of shoot, and it was cool because there was only two of us. There was a guy model and then myself, so it was cool that it was like mostly focused on like us and like the content and what we were doing. But yeah, that was like the best one. But basically it was just like highlighting the history of the NBA and black males obviously like growing, because way back when basketball was not really like basketball, you know, there was just people just traveling across the country on buses and like playing games wherever, and it was just cool to like learn the history of that. We actually got to meet the guy who started Black 5, so he was there on set that day. But it was cool because it was just like basketball wear. It was like basketball shorts, tees, sneakers, and like that's
very comfortable.
my vibe. Very comfortable all the
Very
time.
comfortable.
So it was just, I felt really comfortable on set. So it was like, you could see that through the photos.
For sure, for sure. So like, how did you actually come across that opportunity?
So I'm signed with an agent, and my agent actually does all of the outreach for me. So basically, when you're a model signed to an agency, they do most of the like connecting with the clients and the different brands, and then I really just submit for them, and then I just show up on set when I book the job. So.
Correctly. So speaking of your agency, that's Dreamland, New York City. Am I saying that correctly?
Yep.
So what have they done for you thus far? But I mean, obviously you did the Puma shoot, but you know, like how have they benefited you in your career?
They've benefited me in ways I can't even describe. Like the fact that in my first year of modeling, I even got to work with Puma, got to work with Target. I had my first commercial with Clinique.
Zara. What I love most about my skin is how radiant it is, the freckles around my nose. I am the only one in my family that ever dealt with hyperpigmentation, but I have to remember that it makes me uniquely me.
In my first year, so they really just like mapped out my whole first year of like professionally modeling, which is really awesome because those were things I didn't really expect to do my first year, but it was possible because of them. So I'm forever grateful for my agent.
And like, how does that work? Like, do they find you? Do you find them? How does that work for somebody that just may want to step into that, you know?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I feel like my situation is definitely very unique because before I even got into modeling, so we'll probably get into like my mentorship and like business and that side of things, but before I even got into modeling, I was doing that, posting on social media, being very consistent with like building my brand and everything, and I was scouted through Instagram from my agency. So that did happen a lot in 2020 for different models in terms of like getting scouted through Instagram because we were all at home. Like no one was really going to castings and stuff like that. So I was fortunate in that sense. But if you're like someone who's looking to get into an agent and will get an agency and stuff like that, I'd definitely say you have to put yourself out there. You have to post content because a lot of agencies now, they look for like a social media presence.
For sure.
So yeah, that's like a huge part, and really just like submitting to different agencies.
You actually drove us to a point. I was gonna wait till later, but hey, since you drove us there, let's park the car, right? So, creating content for Instagram. That's something that me personally, and I'm pretty like people that will watch this probably will agree, I struggle with mostly because of my own insecurity of like just being anxious about posting things in general, but also because it's just like, sometimes it's like, what do I do? Or like, what am I supposed to do? So like, could you walk us through like, I don't want you to give away all your sauce, for sure. But could you just walk us through like what it is that you go through and coming up with what you do? Because you do a lot of, you know, get ready with me's, a lot of skincare stuff, which we'll dive into a little later as well, and just whole lot of different type of content. So with that being said, could you just walk us through your creative process?
Yeah. So when it comes to like creating content, I'm not a person that like, I think I mentioned this before, I don't like to be like stuck in a bubble of like what I can and will only put out because that's just like not who I am. I don't just only want to make skincare videos, or I don't only want to just do get ready with me videos. So I have like 5 pillars is what I like to call them, in which I like to share. So whether it be wellness, lifestyle, modeling, you know, things of that nature, and then I'll just make content within those like 5 different niches or pillars, I would say. But I give myself the freedom to create really whatever I feel like, whatever I want, and I listen to my audience and like what they like, but ultimately I'm still just going to share what I like to put out.
Another thing that also stops me from posting sometimes because I don't like to feel cheated, and sometimes I feel like the algorithm cheats me. And like sometimes like, yo, this is fire, this should have went for da-da-da-da, at least based off how much following, you know, the math you do in your head. So how do you combat those feelings with still just keeping on posting?
Yeah, like keep on keeping on, honestly, because the algorithm's gonna do what it wants, regardless of how fire the content is, and it does suck sometimes. Like you put in, people really don't understand how many hours and energy that goes into creating content. They just see the finished results. They're like, oh, it's so simple. Like she just made this video, but it's like, you gotta plan what you're gonna post, you have to actually film the content, then you have to edit it, do the final tweaks, and then actually get it to the platform and post it. So you're like, it go 5 hours sometimes just into like weekly content minimum, and it's like you do all this work just for it to not see the numbers that you were expecting. But honestly, you can't just do things with the result in mind, because sometimes like the most simplest things that I share sometimes do the best. So I'm like, when I don't put that energy into it thinking like, oh my god, this is gonna go viral, I see better results. So I've just trained myself to be like, just put the content out, whatever happens, happens, and go on with your day.
I'm glad you said that because that's my mindset I need to take on. Just put it out there, and whatever happens with it. But moving on from that, I do want to dive into now your mentorship, and just tell us all about that. Where does that stem from? How did it start? Give us all of that.
Yeah, so it's actually like a crazy transition. So basically, I've always loved working with kids. So like our youth, I highly value them because they are the next generation. Like they are next coming. Like
I'm sorry, are we not the youth?
I mean, people younger than us.
Have we gotten old? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
We're old.
I just need the clarification.
We are old. I'm not saying like we're old, obviously I'm being dramatic, but like people, like the kids, like they are
for sure.
up and coming, and when it comes to modeling, I really do value myself, and I take pride in the fact that I am a role model for so many young women, because I know growing up, I didn't see many people in the industry that looked like me or had the same hair as me, you know what I mean? So I'm a mentor in so many different ways, but I also find myself back in, like, before I even got into modeling, I was mentoring middle school students during the pandemic. I was helping them with math, science, and just really being like an online virtual mentor. And then I was able to take that into my business and mentor people in network marketing and social media, and how to, turn their social media platforms into an income and helping them monetize. So I do mentor kids, but I also mentor people who are our age, who are older than myself. I have women on my team who are over the age of 30. I'm 23 myself, so it's cool that I get to mentor people who are younger than me, my age, and older.
So you built the bridge again. We're gonna walk right into business.
Yes.
You're an entrepreneur, as we opened up. I said so about you. So let us know, what exactly are you doing? What field of work have you landed yourself in that's built enough income that you feel that you don't have to work, a regular job?
Yeah, so definitely modeling is a huge chunk of my income. It's one of my sources, but it's not consistent. People think like, oh, modeling. It's like, no, guys, like if you only knew.
Gig by gig.
Yes. And we're not paid out, twice a month or weekly with that. Like you can book a job in January and not get paid out for that job in like March or April. It really just depends on like all the different terms and stuff like that. But in between my modeling jobs, I do my business, which I am absolutely obsessed with. It has literally opened so many doors for me. It actually helped me get into modeling, but I'm in the network marketing space, so I'm able to network and market, basically grow my network by helping other men and women monetize their social media through clean beauty. So vegan hair care, vegan skincare, wellness supplements, and there's something for everyone within my different products. There's stuff for pets, babies, men and women alike, different hair types, different skin types. So, and it's a consumable product, so it's not like a business that's ever gonna, go out of business. It's something that every single person uses. Like if I were going to your bathroom, I'm gonna find hair care, I'm gonna find skin care. So I'm able to just help people replace their existing products to something more effective and a healthier alternative as well.
Like, so the skin care, hair care, is it underneath all one umbrella of a brand?
Yes.
And that brand name is?
Modern Nature.
Modern Nature. All right, so with that being said, is there a website they can go to? Is there how do they contact, how do they find you?
I run my business strictly through Instagram, so my Instagram is @ZFVCHU. So if anyone is ever interested in any products or anything, send me a DM. I'd be more than happy to help them. But yeah, Instagram is where I run my business.
Right. And then, so since it's on just your Instagram, how are you able to translate that to so much people? Like, what is the strategy that you utilize to get it to so many people and allow it to affect the masses as it has?
Yeah, so basically it's cool because it's like a brand partnership. So basically anyone who's interested in selling the products or wants to gain like the mentorship or the community aspect, they're just able to partner up with the brand Modern Nature, and then I'm able to mentor them through the company, helping them launch their business and monetize social and stuff like that.
All right, and then from what I'm getting, just correct me if I'm wrong, they can all become like you, pretty much.
Basically.
Okay,
if they put in the work, obviously.
Of course. So like, how long have you been doing this? Like, how long has it been sustainable for you?
So to give you guys some timeline, in January 2020 is when I started my business. So right at the end of when I was graduating college. So I basically mainly started this because I was going to get into nursing school once I graduated. So I was like, oh my God, I have loans. Oh my God, I need to sustain myself. I need an extra income. And I was already like working. I was freelance modeling at the time. Like I was already maxing out my time. Like I could not pick up another job. I was taking 18 credits. I was becoming an EMT.
18 credits.
My senior semester, I was trying to get in all those credits before I graduated.
18 credits.
Yes, it was insane. And I was also working 23 hours every single week as a hostess. I was like coaching volleyball on the side and freelance modeling. So, like I said, my time was maxed out, but...
Like, where did you find time to even be?
Don't ask me because I don't know how I did that.
Just be, like, do you feel like, this is kind of off topic, but do you feel like, what were some of the sacrifices you had to make during that time period? I'm just curious at this point.
A lot of sacrifices, like parties, going out with my friends on the weekends, that whole college experience. On the weekends, I had to sacrifice because like I had things to do, like I had priorities, and yeah, so my senior year, I really sacrificed a lot in terms of events, going out, and like that whole social aspect. But it was worth it in the end because here I am. Yeah.
You know, I should have thought like that when it came time to it. But you can't live in the past, people.
Right.
For sure. So I saw with your skincare, for you yourself personally, you did previously struggle yourself.
Yeah.
As did I. Luckily, my mom caught it. But I just wanted you to, just for those that are watching, detail what you did and maybe boost your own brand in doing so, and what you did that helped you, get through that.
Yeah. So let me go back to like when I was talking about the timeline just previously.
Sure.
So January 2020 is when I had started my business because I needed the extra income, obviously,
Right.
And my skin was not thriving. I share my results and my before and afters.
Maybe because you weren't taking any breaks.
Maybe because I was not taking care of my health. I was definitely stressed and not eating right. But yeah, so it showed in my skin. So that's why I had started with Modern Nature with the company. And then by May of 2020, I had completely replaced my income that I was making as a hostess and with coaching from my phone. So I was like, and it was COVID, by the way, because we're in 2020.
Sure.
So I was like, I had lost my job. And I was just finishing school online and everything. So I was making that transition as we all were.
Right.
But yeah, so then by May 2020, I had completely replaced my income. And then I just kept building up my business in that time. And then October 2020 is when I moved here to the city, and yeah, then I got scouted for my modeling agency in December, and then boom, it all.
So 2020
took
was
off.
a valid year for you.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say that. I think it's okay. People would be scared to say like,
I don't know.
But
Yeah.
it's okay to say you had,
I had a good time.
Mixed and bad things.
Yeah.
Two things can be true at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also I do still want you to get into
My skin.
your skincare
Yeah.
and like how that process went for you.
So then, like I was saying, I would just consistently building my business, but also consistently using my own products. So my own products were literally transforming my skin. People were able to see that because they saw what my skin was before, especially if they knew me in person, and then they saw what my skin looked like, months after. So they're like, yo, what are you using? I need to use that too because I have my own issues. So that's kind of how my business also just started to boom because of my own personal results with the products. And then they would tell their friends would tell their friends, and then, just so on and so on. And then once my clients started getting their own results, I was able to share that. So then people were like, all right, she's using it, she has clients that are using it, like something must have worked. So yeah, and people I feel like are always more skeptical when like your friend or so, like, just a friend starts a business, they're like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. But so you kind of have to like build that trust with them. So that's exactly what I was doing. But in that time, my skin really just transformed, and I just learned so much about like wellness and holistic healing and vegan products. Like I was just becoming educated myself, so then I was able to educate other people too.
I don't even know like the scientific terms per se. Like I don't really back at the bottom, but you know what I'm getting at. Right? So what is absent from these products that is replaced with something better in the Modern Nature?
Yeah, no, that's a good question because people are like, all right, well, what's the difference?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a I did not say that.
It's okay, I got you. So we have a scientific advisory board that actually like formulates the products. All of the products go through like clinical testing and trials before they're even like launched to the public. So there's really a lot of heart, and like we want to make sure we're putting out an effective product, something that actually works, not just a drugstore product for $7 that we're trying to market to you because we're trying to for our own like benefit and gain. We really want to help people, and it's not gonna work if we're just putting out anything.
You are a natural hair girl, naturalista. Is that a word for you guys?
Sure.
All right, I'm learning. I'm trying to learn. But with that being said, when did you begin that journey? Because I know a lot of black girls, they kind of start off with, and I don't want to blame it on parents or anything, but like, you know, it's just easier to do other things to your hair. You know, whether it be a perm, whether it be...
Look at you!
You know, but you know, all that stuff being said, like what was the change and how hard it was it to make that change?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, little fun fact, freshman year of college, I actually played volleyball. So, and that's kind of senior year of high school. Not for Albany, but I went to a different college in Massachusetts because I got a scholarship to go.
Okay, cool.
So as a student athlete, you don't have time as is. So I was like, if I'm gonna be natural, like how am I even gonna do my hair? So freshman year, my hair was always in braids. Literally, that was my look. I just had box braids my whole freshman year. And then as I, obviously sophomore, junior, and senior year of college, I kind of just experimented more with different styles and like honestly had to relearn my hair because growing up I did have a perm. I did always straighten my hair in middle school and high school. My hair was fried. You already know. Yes.
Trust me.
So yeah, it's been a journey just like learning my hair, but I'm definitely in a place now where I'm very comfortable because also I've just found better products to help maintain my hair and like heal it from the inside out. So yeah, it's been a journey, but it's definitely difficult.
So what's advice you would have for those girls, even maybe men too, who just want to just take that natural without scared or complacent about it? So
you just gotta go for it. Honestly, like if you want to know what your natural curls look like, you gotta see them, right? So you gotta stop putting heat. You got to like really just nurture it, weekly treatments. Like you really have to like heal your hair. So if you are struggling with like being comfortable with it, it's a learning process. It's definitely a journey, like I mentioned, because you're not going to be used to seeing your hair like that, so you're going to have to take on like a whole new look, you know? So yeah, just learning to become more confident as the process goes on, because the first day compared to like, you know, 2 years that you've been natural is going to be so different.
Right. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of, I hope this doesn't sound offensive, but I'm kind of happy I wasn't born a girl because like I had the benefit of like getting a Caesar and just calling it a day. So because I used to see, I say that because I used to see like girls when they go through it. You know what I'm saying? Like I went to the school where like, you know, sometimes they just come in and their hair just be kind of, you know,
crazy.
I'm just like,
damn.
At that time, I'm young and mature. I'm like, hey, like I'm laughing a little bit, but now I'm looking back, I'm like, I was wrong because I'm just like, now that I know what it takes to like really get it done and really get it going, it's like, wow.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't know, it's wild. So like your future child, if you are planning to have kids in the future, you're gonna take them on that route from jump, I'm assuming.
Yeah, definitely natural from the start because it's like, I know the trauma I went through with my hair. So like just teaching that to, and even with modeling, like being able to impact young people or even women in general that see me and they're like, wow, like she has hair that looks like mine and she's modeling and she's out here. It's like, I know I can impact more people than, you know, obviously than just my kids, but yeah, I'm like proud to be a natural and I'm proud to be a model in the industry right now because of all the shifts that are happening and everything that's changing. So I'm just like really grateful to be in that position.
So now I'm gonna hit you with a couple random questions.
Okay.
All right, so we spoke about modeling, so dream shoot. Who do you, give me 3 that you want to shoot for. 3 companies or 3 types of shoots, whatever you want to do, just give me 3.
Okay.
3 dream shoots.
So, NDA, like you can't really like discuss like that, but I actually did shoot for one of my dream clients just last week, and it will be out in 2023, so. 2023? Yes.
I gotta wait that long.
That's just how it is. Like people don't know that about the industry too. Like when you shoot for clients sometimes, like they're working on like next year's stuff. Like so everything that they put out this year is already done.
Even just pictures?
Yes. Campaigns, pictures,
I guess
stuff.
campaigns gotta be planned, right? So that makes sense. But do you have any others that's not NDA disclosed?
I would definitely say as I finish out this is my 2nd year professionally modeling, I definitely want to transition more into like high fashion. So I would definitely love to work with more high fashion brands. And just, I guess I could say, I've never really had like one specific brand that I'm like, oh yeah, I like want to do that for them because obviously, but I do want to like transition more into high fashion, like more designer brands and stuff like that so that again, I can be a Afro-Latina like with high fashion. Like when you look at high fashion, you always see like the petite, skinny white model with like the
right.
slick back, blonde or brown hair,
Right.
and I want to change up the industry. I want to really disrupt that. So anything high fashion, and really any other brands, I would say. Yeah, I really don't have any dream brands.
That's how when you work with dream brands. It's
Yeah.
Like, it comes out of place and I get that. So just to follow up on that, do you enjoy like walking, or are you more so you enjoy, I guess, I don't know if they call it posed, but
No, yeah, that's a good question. So more like editorial or commercial or like e-com, stuff like that.
I'm not familiar with the term, but you
No,
get what
it's
I mean.
okay, yeah. So I actually walked in my first New York Fashion Week show in February. In college, I did like fashion shows and stuff like that, so I kind of got like that experience, yeah. But I don't know. I feel like walking is like, it's cool for the experience, but like it's not something it's not long term and it's not like sustainable. You know what I mean? Because it's more of like okay, you're on set for 5 hours, you walk for 5 minutes, and then it's done.
No, yeah, because I'm only asking because you do have the height that they would ask for, so that's why I wanted to ask if people like enjoy that kind of thing. But if you don't, you don't.
Yeah, I don't like walking is cool. Like I would definitely do it again. Like obviously if I can like travel to like London or Milan and like walk one of those, definitely I will do that. But I do enjoy like beauty campaigns and like actually being on set and with all the cameras and creating content in that day. That's like what I enjoy.
Cool. Now, from doing my little investigation, I did see that you do love to travel.
I do.
So with that being said, what's your favorite place you traveled?
Favorite places I've traveled. Can I give you 3?
You can give me as many as you want.
Okay, so the start of this year, I went to London. Definitely want to go back there when it's warmer to experience the city.
I went to London and it was freezing.
It was freezing when you went. When did you go?
We went right before the pandemic. Like literally as they're getting like, people are like, yeah, there's COVID-19 thing.
You're like, oh.
I'm thinking, wait, did I bring it back to the States? Am I patient 0? But yeah, so go on, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So London was definitely a great place that I went to. I would definitely want to go back when it's warmer. Costa Rica, I absolutely loved it there. I'm trying to think. Oh, Aruba. I just went to Aruba this year also, and that's definitely a place I would want to go back to.
So do you prefer, or do you even have a preference of whether it's warmer climate, beachy weather, or more like a London, Paris, or like, where it's just, more scenery, more as far as like, just more stuff to do as far as be within that culture instead of just being on the beach and being in the water? Like, which one do you prefer most?
I definitely prefer island, beach, tropical. Since we live in New York, like it's literally always cold, like besides the 3 months out of the year.
Right.
So any place that I can go to the beach, the water, lay out in the sun, that's my thing.
So where haven't you gone that you would like to go?
Good question. I definitely want to go to Australia, as weird as it sounds, but they have like the nicest beaches. What?
I mean, I'm gonna have to. This is your thing.
Yes.
Just for me, Australia's not for me because I'm into like animals and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
they have freaking like kangaroos and
But
stuff.
hear me out. They also have a lot of different bugs over there that for some reason just be ending up in the house. Things you didn't think just existed in the world exist in Australia for some reason.
Yeah.
So that's why for me, unless it's like a business trip, I might go in a hazmat suit.
Then you definitely don't want to go to Costa Rica or Aruba, because Aruba got like these huge ass lizards, literally.
I'm cool with a lizard.
You just don't like the flying bugs and the...
I'm pro animal, anti bug.
Okay.
And I'm standing on that campaign.
Okay, well I love that for you.
Well, yeah, sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
It's okay. But yeah, Australia, just because it's like a crazy long travel experience, like just the thought of that is insane. They do have like the nicest beaches in the world, so I would love to like go there. I definitely want to Thailand. I feel like it's a place I'd like to experience. Africa, and yeah, those are like top destination places I would like to go.
Yeah, we're good on 2 out of 3. So as far as your career, whether it be business wise, whether it be modeling is your business, but separate the two by that word. We're in 5 years. Where is Zara? Because you're 23 now, going 24, or you turn 24?
I'll turn 24 in November.
All right, so going on 24-ish.
Yeah.
So in 5 years you'll be 29, borderline. pushing-
28, don't age me.
5 years. You said you would be.
I'll be 24 at the end.
All right, let's go. 28. For that aspect, where do you see yourself? Where do you want to be, and where do you see yourself?
I feel like that question is like, I don't know, it like kind of, not as a trigger me, but it's like, everyone was like, oh, what's your 5-year plan? Like, it's definitely good to have a 5-year plan.
For sure.
Don't get me wrong.
For sure.
But at the same time, I really just like, I want to be doing what I'm doing now, like modeling, business, like everything I'm doing now, but just more elevated. Like I would have traveled to more places, obviously would have made more money, like would have met more people, the whole thing. But yeah, I just want to have impacted more lives, been a role model for more people. Definitely want to be able to give back, like in a state financially, to just give back to communities. But yeah, just like in an elevated space that I am now.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I feel similar.
Yeah.
Similarly, can't speak to it. But because people always ask like, what? Even right out of college, I was just kind of like, I'm just kind of like trying to figure out what my next move is. I feel like thinking too far ahead. I feel like it kind of ruins the process a little bit. For me, I know other people think differently, but I'm glad you brought that up because it's like I know I'm not alone. Like it's not just me who feels like a 5-year plan is kind of steep.
Yeah.
Maybe a year.
A year, but even 5 years, it's like it goes by quick because I think like college was 4 years, boom, it went by like
super fast.
Like from 18 to 23, that was just 5 years. That flew by. Like I wouldn't have even thought when I was 18, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a business owner, I'm gonna be a model, and I'm gonna be doing X, Y, and Z. Like I wouldn't have even said that. So
right.
There's gonna be things that happen when I'm 28, 29 that I'm not even gonna be able to think right now or explain right now. So
like, I didn't even last thing in my mind.
Exactly. But yeah, like you said, definitely like have an idea. So I definitely just want to be like in an elevated space. But I feel like everyone too shouldn't like put that pressure on themselves because like we were just saying, like things can happen that you won't even know.
Last question I want to leave out here with is, I want to talk about your mentorship because I'm actually big on mentorship here. As far as you can take that, what's your lasting impact you want to leave as far as mentorship?
That's a good question.
Thought of it on the fly. Look at me.
It's just definitely to just empower people to become the best version of themselves, whatever that looks like for them. Because obviously, yes, I'm a mentor and I can help people and give them advice on modeling and business and stuff like that, but that's not everyone's desire or passion or calling, you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean I still can't impact their life in a way with my own personal experience before and even within my industry. But it's definitely to just empower people to live out their full potential and go after whatever it is they're looking for, because at the end of the day, like if you can think it, that means you can make it into a reality. And a lot of the times people's limiting beliefs, their poor mindset, really, that's what it comes down to, it hinders them from going after those things that they think about, or those dreams that they're like, oh, maybe I could do that, but maybe the environment they're around or the people that they're surrounding themselves with stop them from going after it. So I just want to be like an impactful force and positive light in their life to just help them realize that they can achieve that and that whatever they think can become a reality. So
all right, so with that being said, you heard it here first from Miss Zara. If you think it, you can achieve it.
Love that.
So we're gonna end on that note. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe.